And we're off. How's it going out there, guys? As usual, if you'd like to support this channel, there are PayPal and Patreon links in the info box below. I'm all by me onesie for the treatment of the two yahoos. You know who we're talking about. Frickin' Frack. So I almost didn't make it. Oh, man. I had to cook dinner for the family, and oh, boy. It wasn't too bad, man. I fried up some fillets, crappie fillets. Put a little of the QE magic on them. I'm sure that's why you all tuned in to find out what my crappie recipe is. Yeah, I should know it by now. I spoke about it before. Woo! What's up out there, guys? Quantum Bobby, what the heck is that? Good times, wonderful to see you. Yo, yo. Greg T. Whitsitt still claiming ether in latest Globey debate. Really? Why aren't flat earthers holding him to task? Why does he still have a channel? Why does he still have venue? Flat earthers? I'm holding you responsible. Yeah, Neo, you finally caught a live treatment. All right. Mustard and chips. That's right, lumpy gas in a vacuum. You got it. So, you got regular mustard, none of the fancy stuff. Just plain old yellow mustard. And then toss those fillets. Make sure you dry them out. Get all the bones out. You got to feel them, right? Just to make sure whoever filleted them, because some people do it real quick. They're a little sloppy, so you get a feel if there's any little bones in there. But after you do that, dry them. Throw them in the mustard sauce, just in a bowl. You know, toss them in the mustard. I think my mustard might have been a little bit old. I'm going to rectify that next time. But it wasn't all that bad. It didn't stick as well as I thought it would. And I think it's just because the mustard had aged just a little bit. I like doing it with fresh mustard, but I digress. And before that, you take salt and vinegar potato chips and you put them in a bag, seal it, and then you mash them with one of those bread rollers. Yeah, you just got all nuclear on them, right? And smash them all up. About a half a bag, depending on how many fillets you got. We had 6 fillets. They weren't all that big. Toss them in the mustard, get them all mustarded up, and then toss them into the chips, salt and vinegar chips. Of course, you already got your iron skillet with the grease. Right? What you do to get the right temperature to grease, I don't muck around with any thermometers. You get a wooden spoon and you stick the wooden spoon in there at the base, at the bottom of the iron skillet, and whenever you see bubbles start coming up, that's the time. That's the time right there, baby. You toss them in there. Be careful. Make sure you toss them bottom towards you and then away from you, if you follow what I mean, so it doesn't come back and splash you. Right? It's not too much fun getting oil burn, I'll tell you that much. And then look the heck out. You don't need anything else. I had some mac and cheese with it, but you really don't need anything with that. It's perfect. A little bit of mayonnaise on the side. What's up, Elijah? Niche and mustard. What the heck is a niche? There must be some New York thing. And just they weren't, like I said, they weren't really big or thick fillets, so you just lay them in there for a minute on each side, and that's it. There, you got it. So that's what I did before I ran in here. Presentation nowhere near complete. I was looking at it. I came in here about 45 minutes ago, and I have a couple few citations, a big block of citations that I want to focus on, and I forgot to format them. So I was trying to do that and get ready for dinner and get, just get out. I was in charge of dinner. You guys know the deal. Not enough time. I was slopping everything up. You know what? I made it here. So what's going on out there, man? We'll wait for a few more minutes. We ain't in a big rush. We're not going to go for any 5-hour stints today. I don't know how long we're going to go. Like I said, I don't time these things. We'll just go until we go. Oh, gotcha. Elijah, I got it. Kanish. Knish with espresso. Too funny, man. Yeah, I know what it is, Neil. Some fried catfish. Yeah, catfish will do it every once in a while. Not a huge fan. But some flatheads, it's pretty good. I would say I've ate, a few fish species in my time. I'd have to say crappie is just one of the best. I don't know why. And make sure you gotta fish for them in the wintertime. Don't be cooking them off any summer catches, right? Because the meat's not firm enough, right? They're a little bit mushy. So what you want to do is you want to wait until like this time, like in the fall, towards wintertime, and go ahead and catch them and fillet them. Yeah, the flesh is much firmer, just to let you know. All right, let's see where we're at here. We got pretty good numbers so far. We're given the usual treatment. I don't know how often I'll go out and chat. We'll just play that by ear. Whenever I look over there and it's a train wreck. So I'm sure Dora the Explorer will have a couple cameos. I'm positive about that. So make sure you guys police yourselves out there. I'm not going to be able to look at chat while we're going through this. Yeah, as usual. Oh yeah, it's really, really good. That combination. It's a cross between, back to the fish. That recipe, which is quite simple, is a cross between what I found out from the fine folks in Mississippi, Mississippi, and Canada, of all places. So that's the combination. Yeah, thought I'd just mash those two together and see what I can come up with. Yeah. Tried a few other recipes. I didn't like them, the pre-prepared stuff. Nah, I'm not a big fan. Cornmeal and stuff. I'm not a big fan. I don't like chewing sand with the fish. A lot of people like it that way, though. A lot of old timers. But I'm the new breed. Yeah, yes, they will. Crappie will do that. So will bluegill. They'll bite I used to catch bluegill when I was a kid on just a bare hook. Yeah, it was a lake right by my house. Oh, God. Professor Parks, why are you here? Can't seem to get enough of you. Yeah, we're exposing you like Mae West. It's not easy. We just let you speak. I'm sorry, it's not hard. We just let you speak. It's quite easy for me just to sit here. I'm just reporting. You think this is some type of positive for you or something? You're far more delusional than I thought you were. Because you're an abject retard. Full-on pretender clown. I mean, how many items did we go over? We're going to go a few more here today. There's just belly laughers. I don't know. I don't get it. You a masochist? All right, enough about the crappies. Let's see what we got. That's looking good. Let's walk and roll, baby.
So you feel that scientists actually...
We feel. See, he's all about feelings, right? He's all about acquiring a complete stranger's feelings and beliefs as a PhD astronomer. I don't know. Just stamp pretender clown fool on your forehead and be done with it already. Right? You should be educating him on science, right? And proving you're BallTARD. But no, we got to go down these feelings and beliefs. It's a common theme the whole way through. I don't get it. The only explanation is that you're a retard pretender clown. Now, that would make sense. Idiot.
Actual scientists, not us astronomers, are feel that they are better than everyone else.
Fucking
What? Now we're two feelings. Feelings time two. Feel that they're better than everyone else. No. I mean, pseudoscientists, you're basic retard pseudoscientists like yourself. I don't know what they think. I can't divine what they think. I can only watch the way they act. You know, Neil deGrasse Tyson, like Anthony says, Bill Nye, but he's not an actual scientist. I think he's got an engineering degree or something. I don't even know. But he pretends to be a scientist. I know that because the schools around here, because my kids, when they were younger, they'd come in and they said they saw a Bill Nye video. So I guess the schools, you know, run Bill Nye videos like he's a scientist. I seen him with a white jacket on a couple times. That's a tear-jerking belly laugher. But I really don't know what their station in life is, like how they think other people feel about it. I don't really care, right? They're actual pseudoscientists. But, however, societal speaking, is that a word, societal? If it isn't, I just made it up. You get the picture. Society puts them, the scientists, like the concept of scientists, up on sort of a pedestal, right? Because they have an inclination, that is society, to have this idea that there's some validity in what scientists say. And they kind of have this feeling that, like the scientific method they seen back, you know, when they were younger, and they hear science does this and science does that, and scientifically speaking, well, that puts some extra cowbell on it to your average Joe Numpty, right, who doesn't know what science is, like yourself. So I think it's more of a society thing, if you follow what I'm saying. I think you do.
fucking right, I do. Why does Neil deGrasse
you
Tyson
think,
walk
and you
around-
think that they
Why-
are...
Explain to me why Neil deGrasse Tyson walked around in his pompous, arrogant self, pretending that he's the master of all known knowledge. If that's not an example of science thinking that they're better than themselves.
Science thinking, no, that's not science thinking that they're better than themselves. That's not science. Neil deGrasse Tyson is Neil deGrasse Tyson. He isn't science. Even if he was a scientist, he still wouldn't be science, right? That's just stupid. So he's not thinking that he's science, even though he has no idea what the scientific method is. Yeah, he's a pompous ass. Everyone knows that. I mean, it's plain to see. What's the point?
Unless you're going to say that Neil deGrasse Tyson is an actor, then I don't know what would be an example of science that shows impartiality.
No, I don't. I don't think that Neil deGrasse Tyson is an actor.
Well, that's what we're concerned with here. Your thoughts and what you think. You've pretty much shown that you and your butt buddy down here are abject retards. Now you're going after his feelings, what he thinks, and offering what you think. We could give a shit less what you think, dude. Right? You're supposed to be a scientist. That means, you remember society holds you up a little bit higher? That means you're supposed to be a little bit more intellectual. There's more validity with things that come out of your mouth. Not, you sound like you're Dr. Phil or like Dear Abby or something. I don't get it. I mean, you're a full-on clown show.
I do agree that he's a pompous ass, but I
You do agree. Well, that makes us feel warm and fuzzy.
don't agree that he's an actor.
Yeah.
But
Oh, you don't agree that he's an actor. Like this is an disagree form, right? Aren't you supposed to be some type of scientist? You deal with empirical. That is the objective, not the subjective. Agree and disagree, and people's feelings and what they like, you know, and color of flowers and their favorite bands, favorite fantasy football player, stuff like that, right? You'd figure. You're just in a whole category here. Norm!
Politicians, pompous asses, and
Oh, God, he's going to bring up politicians. It's just bankrupt. It's not that it's even bankrupt. It's less than bankrupt. It's so impoverished. I don't know. You make the call.
and it can be said that you're a pompous ass too, Sleeping Warrior, when you shout down your competition on your.
Shout down his competition. What competition? Where did he shout? I don't think I've ever heard Anthony shout. Well, he did a couple times at me because I pissed him off. But I don't think that I've ever heard Anthony shout down anyone. Like I said, besides me. I have a tendency to push people to the edge. I don't know why. Don't ask me. Yeah, but I don't think I've ever. Why don't you show something? Do you have any cowbell with that claim? That he shouts down his opponents? I doubt it, right?
Your channel.
Let's be
I'm not.
civil.
I'm not trying to insult. I'm
No,
just.
but to be fair, the points that we've had arguments over, I've presented a fucking shit ton of stuff to support my positions, right? Respectfully, guys, you haven't presented anything, and not that that's a big dig.
They're not going to present anything. the whole way. Not one. They haven't supported not one single claim. Not one. They haven't presented anything. Just yahas and nah-ahs and querying to find out what your feelings and your beliefs are. That's about it. Absolutely pathetic.
I'm not having a dig, but we did spend 10 minutes arguing whether pressure was a force or not.
Yeah. Well, remember, Anthony, pressure's not a force. It's a force per unit area.
Now, even if you say by extension it's force over an area, it's still a force, isn't it? It's a force.
No,
nope.
No, it's a dividend of force.
Yeah, it's a dividend now. Yeah, Anthony. Yeah, you need to go on to another topic. I think we beat this one to death. Yeah, they're numpty dipshits.
Over area.
But that starts getting into semantics. But
semantics, yeah, the definition of words. Yeah, the definition of force. Yeah, that's what semantics is. You treat it like it's some type of I don't know. It's like a negative. Is that an argument or something? Well, that's just semantics. Yeah, that's right. It's semantics. And that means you dismiss the argument on semantics. I don't know, folks. I mean, a second grader, one that's playing Candy Crush, can expose your dumbass. Like I said, you see this? It's like shooting pregnant hippos in a fishbowl. That's what it is. You do all the work, actually. Bozo.
No, but it's not semantics, though, because pressure is...
Yeah, it is semantics. Semantics is the definition of terms. That's what we do. And we tried to define force for these two monkeys, but they just can't get it.
It's a force, right? So we were trying to establish why it was that the egg stopped
force
moving.
is part of a pressure.
They're still going down this road, but I don't know. Let them go, I guess.
You can't have force without a pressure, but you can have pressure. You can't have pressure without a force, but you can have force without a pressure. But
you want to run that by us one more time there, Crayon Muncher? And do you have an example for us?
Let's get back to, but if you want.
Oh, and then you skip. Let's get back to, you're going to run away from that claim real quick, right? So provide an example for that horseshit. You know, if you don't provide support for the horseshit that comes out of your mouth, you know what they call those kind of people? Listen up. Village idiots, right? They're a dime a dozen. Just go down to the street corner. That's you. PhD astronomer, village idiot. This one's delusional. He needs to be institutionalized. We're only focusing on you right now. Unbelievable.
I really...
No, hang on. How can you have force without pressure?
Gravitationally...
Gravitationally? What? Gravity's not a force, you friggin' clown. Now, hey, remember this, folks. He brought up gravity as a force, right? Everyone heard him. So I'm stressing this because this is going to become somewhat important down the line here. All right? So gravity's a force. That's what he offered it up as. All right? Remember that.
Electrostatically.
Electrostatics? Oh, no. Boy, who does this sound like? We've already had a couple examples previously of what you sound eerily similar to some pretender clown flat earthers that we know. What look is this? What are you, the Grinch? Who's that guy? Who's that one that in the garbage can in Sesame Street? That's what you look like. Electrostatics. Okay, go ahead. Explain, please.
Gravitationally is not a force. It's been superseded by Einstein.
Sorry, electrostatically.
Electrostatically. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so electrostatic. So you said you can't have a force without a pressure. Yeah?
He doesn't know. He's looking up into the sky. Wait a second. What the hell did I say again? What's my favorite color?
You can have a force and not have pressure. Yes.
Joe.
And you said electrostatic potential, right?
That's not showing. Electrostatic potential. Define potential. Potentiality is not a force. Duh.
I guess. Yes.
I guess. Anthony Jedi mind tricked him.
But really, I'm not interested in having that discussion.
Oh, you're not interested in having that discussion now. Yeah, I bet you're not. Just make a claim, right? Don't support it. No pressure. No pun intended. You're just a clown. Regular village idiot. You're no better than your average skanking fall BallTARD we run into. I'd put you right around the same level as like a Brenda or something. Right around in there.
I agree. I agree with that.
Okay. Oh, all right. What I'm more curious about is so scientists hold themselves over everyone else.
Here we go. Scientists hold them over. What are scientists? Not you. You're definitely not one. Where are you coming up with this? So scientists, how would you even know that? Right, without knowing what actual scientists think. How could you even comment on it? This is a joke.
In your opinion. I'm just, aside from Neil deGrasse.
In his opinion, so like I said, he's going after Anthony's opinions, a complete stranger opinions and his feelings and his beliefs. You know, right what a PhD astronomer would focus on. You're a clown.
deGrasse Tyson, who else has done that? Like, where do you...
Bill Nye.
Who else has done what? Acted like an ass. There's a ton of them. Neil deGrasse Tyson, Bill Nye. He's not an actual scientist, though. Who do we got? Richard Dawkins, Lawrence Krauss, Mr. Something from Nothing. You know, that sort of thing. There's a bunch of them.
All of them. Brian Cox. Fuck, man, there's a load.
Brian Cox is another one.
Of people in mainstream science that are pompous, arrogant pricks.
What's mainstream science? I think he's Jedi mind tricked you into saying mainstream science. Who's that? You got a phone number, an email address? Would like to contact him. I have some questions and some poignant remarks.
Really? I've never seen there. Maybe because I agree with them. Maybe I'm not seeing it.
You agree with him? You agree with who? What the hell are you talking about? Who do you agree with? Maybe you agree with him. Agree, number one, with who, and what do you agree with? That would be kind of helpful, right? Or do you just agree with this unknown person that you just conjured? You just agree wholeheartedly. Whatever they say, you agree with. What a clown.
But,
well, put it this way. When Neil deGrasse does his microphone drop and he goes, that's gravity, essentially. Do you not think that that's, like, really disrespectful?
No, I agree with you.
I don't think it's disrespectful. He's just making a horse's ass out of himself, right? He knows his target audience when he does that. They're just more on BallTARDS, right? They don't need much else than that. Like to see him drop a helium balloon.
Neil deGrasse Tyson is A, not an actor, and B, a pompous prick.
So he's not an actor. So you can show that. You have definitive proof of what he's not. Go ahead.
You don't think Neil deGrasse Tyson's an actor, so you do think he's a scientist then?
I do believe that I'm not entirely familiar with his speciality, but I do believe at one point he was an astrophysicist.
At one point, he was an astrophysicist. When does that end? I mean, if you're degreed in astrophysics, is there a point under any condition that you're not an astrophysicist anymore? Can somebody get back with me on that? I don't think, I don't think that's possible. Once you're an astrophysicist, you got degreed, that you're an astrophysicist. Unless they revoke your degree. I've never heard of anything like that before. Not that it hasn't happened, but that would be some crazy shit. On your next show, can you show how that's even possible to be an astrophysicist and then not one? You just don't know. You don't listen to the words that you say. Or whatever's going on up there in that void between your ears, there may be some funhouse mirrors up there. You don't listen to what you say. There's no inner voice.
Yes.
An astrophysicist, right? So do you think that guy's ever done an experiment, an actual valid scientific experiment in his life?
No. Okay, he can't. It's impossible. That's why one of the housekeeping questions is, sorry about that. Please show one viable scientific hypothesis ever constructed in the entire history of cosmology, astronomy, or astrophysics. Well, we asked that because there hasn't been one, and there never will be one. Now that goes, we talk about astronomy, cosmology, and astrophysics, but everyone knows that can be extended, right? We identified the rest of the pretender clowns last week. So that's paleontology, anthropology, archaeology, geology, evolutionary biology, whatever that is, and yes, I'm still laughing, and theoretical physics. Yeah, that's why we asked that question, because they can't answer it. So, no.
I don't believe that he has done an experiment that you would consider valid, no.
That he can... There's an objective standard. You either did an experiment before or you haven't. Oh, that's right. You don't know what an experiment is. That's the problem.
We have an objective standard called scientific method.
There you go. Thank you, Anthony.
That
we don't have an objective.
No, we don't. Nuh-uh. There is no objective standard. There is no definition for a scientific experiment. That's what he's saying.
Objective standard, because you are one of your pieces of evidence is from a source that I am told by you not to believe.
No, he never said that, and that's another fallacy. What was that famous fallacy? Hold on. All or nothing fallacy. Yep, there you go. Thanks for bringing that back up again. Appreciate it. I'll tell you what, son, you have a lot of logical fallacies here. We'll get those. We'll get to when we do the summary at the end. We'll tally all those up, and it's going to be scary.
We have defined terms, right? And we've established that, at least by the definition in science, on when you Google it, it requires experiment. And I have shown you that Drexel University literally tell you that you've got to have independent variables.
I'm fairly certain Drexel will also tell you that astronomy is a science.
So that's another all or nothing fallacy. You like that one. That's your favorite. All right.
See, that's the problem, because if you've got Drexel University saying on the one hand that you've got to have experiment, but then Drexel University on the other hand saying that astronomy is science, there's a problem there, because that's a conflict, right? On the one hand, they're saying science.
No, there's not an or. That's a conflict. It's prima facie. It's right in your face. There's not an or to this.
Your definition of your interpretation of what Drexel is saying.
Your interpretation of what Drexel's saying. Yeah, I know. It's very difficult to interpret what they're saying. Fucking clown.
Is so narrow, or is too narrow.
Well, show how it's narrow. Show why it's narrow. I mean, you're using that adjective. So show why. Give it some cowbell, you village idiot. Oh, and by the way, Drexel University didn't go into what the scientific method was, by the way. Moron.
Is it possible that the scientific explanation, or is it possible that the scientific method, as defined by that website, is
They didn't define it.
actually far broader than you interpreted?
Far broad. If it was, then it would be a law of identity violation. What the hell are you just making dumb shit up? Look, he's acting serious now too. That's fucking stupid. Yeah, law of identity violation, you numpty dipshit.
It to be?
Of course, anything's possible. You can.
No, not anything's possible. We went over the exceptions last week. There's quite a few. I could probably sit here for about an hour, probably longer. So get that shit out of your repertoire.
You want on the internet under the guise of possibility, but possibility.
There's no possibility or probability with a law of identity violation. The fuck?
The definitions are not the same thing. Don't conflate possibility.
What makes it improbable? What kind of query is this? He's actually, look how serious he is. You dumbass. It's not even that it's wrong. I don't get it.
What makes it improbable?
Oh, well, shut the fuck up.
The other citations that we were trying to get through that say the same thing.
Well, and that brings me back to my point. You're using an imprecise language of English.
Oh, now they're gonna fucking the incoherent walrus down there is now gonna indict English. He's so fucking bankrupt. He's so clueless. Now he's gonna indict the English language. You can't make this up, folks. You fucking sewer rat engineer, numpty dipshit. Norm.
Rather than the precise language of math.
What the fuck? Listen up, sunshine. Mathematics is not a language. Number one. Mathematics doesn't define terms. This guy is full on F-72. Full on delusional. He's just making shit up. Just stupid shit. I want you to define a banana mathematically. How about a lawn chair?
Things. And in China, it could be completely different.
What the fuck?
In Spain, it could have a completely different definition because
they're using different words. So give an example. Just give an example. It'd be an easy give an example of your train wreck dumpster fire here. It's really stupid.
It's language other than math
math isn't a language, you fuckwit.
Imprecise way to define things.
Yeah, he's indicting languages for definitions now. That's where we're at. That's how bankrupt this idiot is. Have you listened to yourself? You better hope a mental health professional isn't listening to this. You're through.
Mathematics is a precision.
I'll agree with you that mathematics is a precise language.
Oh, God. Why would you do that? Well, maybe he's trying to pander to, maybe trying to get him to say something else. So I'll let it go for now.
Problem is, it's abstract. It isn't part of the scientific method. It isn't part of reality. By definition, it is abstract.
Well, it's part of my reality every day.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure when you walk out the door, you see 5, 9s, and 0.6s everywhere.
Design everything through mathematical means.
You design everything through mathematical means. That doesn't mean math is reality. You have the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable.
No.
Those mathematical
there is
means
no part.
Huh?
There is no part of your day where mathematics is part of your actual world. It exists only in the abstract world.
No, he sees 5s and 9s and 27s and 0.6s when he walks outside every day. Ask him.
It's not actual abstract.
No, it actually is, because I
Nuh-uh. It actually is. Yaha. Nuh-uh. Yaha, yaha, nuh-uh, nuh-uh. What do you believe, Anthony?
design things that are real. I design
You're a SORAD engineer. Who gives a shit? We're talking about science. Why are you even here? This is a science discussion. Natural science. You're a fuckwit engineer. Get the fuck out of here. Half a sissy.
I design sewer systems.
Like I told you, he's a SORAD engineer.
Drainage systems. I design.
He thinks he's a scientist. Remember his science papers on sewer rats?
Waterline systems. I design everything that comes.
All right.
Everything except for the building itself comes. This is the elevator definition of civil engineer. Everything that comes to the building is designed by a civil engineer.
Well, that's just fabulous. Are we talking about fucking buildings here? Norm!
Okay, so these earplugs, right? These are just Bluetooth ear head things, right? Mathematically, if I multiply this by 10, I now have 10 of them. Have I actually got 10 of them, or is it only in maths where I have 10 of them?
You would actually have to multiply them in order to get 10.
What? Yeah, that's what he said. He multiplied them by 10. I don't like this argument, by the way, but let's just go with it. Yeah, he multiplied them by 10. So 10 cases, Bluetooth cases, whatever, ear muffs or whatever they are. So he multiplied them by 10. Does he have 10 more of them because he multiplied it?
Right, so the mathematical function doesn't give me 10, does it?
No,
Yes.
but
If you actually perform.
in practical terms.
Yeah.
And
Now what you're doing, Rob,
in practical terms, Anthony, what I design by math gets built in real life.
So what? That doesn't make math real. It doesn't make math not abstract. You're just an idiot.
So what? The maths didn't cause the bridge to be built.
No shit. That's the point. Like I said, you have the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable. There's no hope for him after. This is just basic, like, first, second grade common sense. He'll never get it. There's no hope.
The math told me how to build.
Math is telling you shit now. So now you not only walk outside tripping over 5s, 9s, 26s, and 0.7s, it's talking to you. That doesn't surprise us.
The bridge so that it would hold, so that it would stand up with.
I thought you were a building engineer. Do you build, are the buildings bridges?
I agree with that.
Okay.
I agree with that. But
With
that doesn't mean that the maths
material.
caused the bridge to... Listen, if maths did cause something, right, no bridge would ever fall over. But we have got
Oh,
bridges.
now we're getting stupid. I think they go into some bridges here. I'm not interested. We might miss some gems in the midst of this. That's the chance I'm going to have to take. Because I'm just not dealing with stupid bridge discussions. I hope you agree. Let's see where we're at.
Due to gravity, that's
What-
weight, mass, acceleration.
what is
Oh,
the
shit, I heard
force
gravity.
equation? Go ahead, Rob.
There is also math which dictates how the fatigue will affect the bridge.
Oh, brother.
Yeah, and you can describe anything with mathematics, right? Again,
And you
can
can-
I say
and then
you
this?
can-
If I
I guess.
And
I
then you can
multiply-
take that prediction that Rob is talking about.
That's not a prediction. That's not a scientific prediction. Look up what a scientific prediction is, you numpty dipshit. And what you just said is not it.
You can take that prediction and then you can apply it in
It's not a scientific prediction.
the real world and see if that prediction is correct or not.
And see if that keeps on saying prediction, prediction, prediction. It's not a scientific prediction. You SORAD engineer, idiot walrus.
Right, so when I take the prediction, if I do 1 times 10, and I now have 10
Oh,
of
here we go back to this again.
these, but I've not actually got 10. Rob said earlier on that you have to actually have the function do the thing, right? And I agree with that. You actually have to do the thing to get 10 of them. You
Do the thing. What are you doing? You're just multiplying it. It's not actually physically there. You're only dreaming of it. It's abstract.
can't just calculate
On
them
both counts.
into existence. But you guys do that with gravity.
No, we don't.
No, nuh-uh. That same old friggin' story with the moron village idiot up here. Yahas and nuh-uh. No, we don't. No, we don't.
Yes, you do. You see something move like the egg, and you ignore Newton's first law of motion that states...
What's this, like, feigned exasperation here? Defend yourself with some cowbell. With some substance. Shaking your head, you know, breathing hard, throwing your head back. Those are not arguments. You pretender clown numpty dipshit. It's very simple. Just provide some cowbell and show Anthony who's boss.
that a force is required, and what you do instead in Lieu, you calculate a force because mass times acceleration due to gravity, that's weight. Mass times acceleration.
What is the buoyant force equation?
What do you mean? Why would you bring up the buoyant force equation? Just all red herring fallacy like, and then ask him what it is. Why would you do that? What's the point? You erratic, numpty, Dunning-Kruger dipshit? And by the way, it's not his responsibility to explain your fuckwit claims. These BallTARDS, all of them, for years, got this disease. I don't know where they got this from. Maybe some Evo-tard or something. That they just bring up, they think other people are responsible to explain their fuckwit claims. They all do it. So it's not a stereotype. You post the buoyant force equation. You define every single variable in that equation there, crayon muncher. Not him. Fuck.
Hang on.
And then please tell us the relevancy.
You calculate a force into existence by substituting Newton's second law in lieu of his first.
We already went over Newton's train wrecks. They're all debunked as of 107 years ago. All of it. All of Newton's laws, which weren't laws to begin with, and the universal law of gravity, which really wasn't Newton's. It's ascribed to him. We've talked about this in depth in many presentations. It's actually John Michel, Cavendish, C.V. Boys, but they assign it to Newton because they think it gives them more cowbell with Newton. We'll just say Newton today just to make sure that we're on the same page. But the universal law of gravitation and all of Newton's laws were replaced 107 years ago. We already went over that. Duh.
So because you don't like the pressure argument, because we spent 10 minutes trying to argue over what was pressure, but you don't like that argument because it explains why
you can't tell him what he does and doesn't like. You can't do that unless you're Mystic Meg.
Moved. But when you realize that that's the opposite of what you do when you apply F equals ma, you calculate.
Oh, I forgot the big kahuna. Time out. Time the heck out. I knew I forgot something. Something was missing. All right, I can fix that. Hey-ya! Now everything's good. This house is clear.
That the egg accelerated, and then you infer that gravity caused it, but you ignore Newton's first law that says it's
infer gravity. What's gravity? Did you ask him what gravity was just yet? We'd like to know. He did say, I marked it down, that gravity was a force, remember? Remember what his little spiel he had? He said gravity was a force as one of his examples of having a force without pressure. We all caught that. Just wanted to make sure everyone remembered it.
It's a force that's needed to cause it. You infer that the force is gravity, but when you spend 10 minutes with...
When you say infer that the force... What do you mean by infer? You're going to have to break that down for these idiots because they don't know what inference is. I'll guarantee, I can tell you it. Most people don't know what it is. But I digress.
With me, you can see the logical conclusion that it's actually pressure causing it, not gravity at
It's no logical conclusion. Logic has nothing to do with this.
all, and we can calculate pressure, its force over a given area, and the correct mass really to describe the egg moving is what I've just described.
I
But it's not.
How?
It's not
Wait,
ethical.
maybe I missed all that. But how is it that I ignore
Maybe you missed all that. You were sitting here. How'd you miss all of it?
Newton's first law when I talk about
All of Newton's laws are debunked, Crayon Muncher. How many times I have to go over it? You should already know that. As a friggin' professional. Why do I have to tell you that? Why are you... See, all these guys are doing is mindlessly parroting Wiki. They're like in a delusional Wiki coma. No matter their degrees or anything, it all boils down to a delusional Wiki coma. That's what it is. Fucking embarrassing, dude.
Newton's second.
Because when you calculate F equals ma, you calculate the force with mass times acceleration.
F equal ma was debunked long ago. Do I need to pull that Richard Feynman citation up telling you that it's been debunked? No, I'm not going to do it. Check the other presentations out that's in there.
You then calculate a force, and then you infer that the force is gravity.
No, acceleration can be done. I'm pushing my computer back. I'm applying a force.
That's right, but that's not contentious, though, is it?
Mass on a mass. Define mass. In your next live stream, you crayon munching clown, bring this Norman idiot on, and I want you both to define mass, okay, with citation support, and then provide an example. That's what I want you to do. Of course, don't watch the other previous 3 presentations when I drug you around by your idiot short hairs, because mass is undefined. Every time you appeal to it, you make a horse's asses out of yourself.
Is it?
But is it? Because you're saying
but is it?
the thing that's causing the acceleration is gravity.
No, I'm saying in the egg example, in the egg example, it goes up, so it's buoyancy, right? So you guys calculate the effect of what you call buoyancy.
And what is the equation for buoyancy? What's the
You're bringing it up. You post it, and then define every variable with it. It's your claim, not his. Shifting the burden of proof fallacy with your idiot claim.
buoyant force equation?
Buoyant force equation.
It's rho GH. It's rho G.
Rho GH. What's the G?
H.
Yeah, but the point I'm making
is the density.
It's not about the precision.
Rho is the density. Okay, thanks.
The maths. Listen, it's not about the precision of the maths. It's
G is what? Let him get to the G, Anthony. That rhymed.
The calculation in lieu of having an actual force to do it.
I like that in lieu. That's real classy. You're going to have to explain what that means to them.
So like I said before with this, I can't multiply that by 10 and get 10 of them, right?
You can if you deficit 10 times the amount.
You can if you deficit 10 times the amount. What the fuck? What are you talking about? I don't know. Is there a retard translator out there that maybe can make some sense out of this? That was pretty stupid.
Of the amount that you paid originally.
No, not a math.
Of the amount that he paid. This fucking guy thinks he's paid for the 10 times for the when he multiplied. He thinks he's paying.
Is going to get me 10. I've only got 1.
Right.
So you can do as much maths as you want. I'm not going to get 10.
All right. To quote you on this, essentially the whole gravity thing is a ridiculous argument.
You're telling us. We've been trying to tell you guys that for about 7 years now. You haven't got it yet.
Call it whatever you want. To quote you, call it unicorn farts.
Call it unicorn farts? Why would we do that? Wouldn't that be a law of identity violation? Oh, you like those. Let me write, because that's the second one. I'm running out of room here. Let me start another column. You like that law of identity violation? That's twice now. Why would we call gravity, which doesn't exist, by the way, something other than what you think it is? Identity violation. It just doesn't, like I said, it's not even that it's wrong. You're just a dumb fuck. All right, got that. That's 2. Sorry about that. Didn't mark those down. All right, we're good.
But unicorn farts predicts that two masses.
Yeah, listen. Yeah, unicorn farts predict from a PhD astronomer, folks. You need to be disbarred. Is there like an astronomer licensing bureau? Somebody call them. Get their asses in here. Unicorn farts predict
Will come together.
that masses will come together. Unicorn farts predict that. You're delusional. Number one, you can't even define mass. It's undefinable. How are they coming together? What's the prediction?
Unicorn farts can be a part of the standard model, which
Unicorn farts can be part of the standard model. What the fuck, man? Yeah, I'll tell you what, BallTARDS, you better get it. You better get in there and get the hook, right? Because he ain't representing. He's making you guys look like a horse's ass. He doesn't have to try too hard, by the way. This is some dumb shit, man.
which I don't believe you understand. Have you even?
Oh, you don't hear. Now, he don't remember we're back to believe. So now he doesn't believe Anthony understands the standard model. Pay attention, folks. You know what? I already spoiled it because on the last, it was the last BALLBUSTERS. I showed this, so you know what's coming. Right? But it's pretty funny anyway. So he doesn't believe Anthony understands, of course it's a belief, the standard model.
Studied gravitons in any way?
Gravitons? What the fuck is that? What the hell does gravitons have to do with any? They don't exist, dude. Show gravitons in Newtonian physics. Show gravitons with the general theory of relativity. I want to go back to the paper, 1915, November, by the way, 15th. 1915. I want you to go back there, and I want you to pull gravitons out that mug. He just spurts out these terms or phrases from his delusional wiki coma, gravitons, and he's good. Right? You fucking clown, man. Gravitons, from renowned physicist Freeman Dyson. He's recently passed away. He's being interviewed. The interviewer says, the quanta of gravity, that's even moronic right there, but I digress. The quanta of gravity, he's talking about graviton, is a fiction. Freeman Dyson, yes, you can study it mathematically, but you can never study it in a real world. Oh, this has tentacles. Back to the previous discussion. Remember mathematics and reality with the Sorad engineer? Do you see the tentacles, how it reaches back and clobbers you over the head with it? Clown show. This is a 2-for-1. You see, you can study it mathematically, but you can never study in the real world. You see the dichotomy. The world versus mathematically. You see that? Yeah. There's your gravitons. They're just conjured because their other fairy tale colloquial theories have crashed and burned. Like the $6 million man. That's why they just conjure shit. It's like dark matter. Right? They just conjure it because it's a band-aid. Right? For their fairy tale stories. It's just that's what pseudoscientists do. It's one of the definitions or one of the tenets of pseudoscience. We already went over that in the science presentation, but you guys get it. Gravitons. You're a fuckwit.
Is gravity part of the standard model, yes or no?
Yes, it is.
Oh, it is. So the question is gravity a part of the standard model? Yes, it is, from a PhD astronomer. Y'all heard him. Yes, it is. That's pretty conclusive, pretty definitive.
Is it a fundamental force in the standard model, yes or no?
Yes, it is.
So it's a fundamental force. Now, gravity, this is the second time that he's made the claim that gravity is a force. Everyone got that? So there's no misunderstanding. Gravity is a force twice. Now we're getting back to the standard model. Leave that first one go. We're going back to the standard model. He thinks that he's a PhD astronomer. Anthony's just challenged him with whether gravity, whatever the fuck that is part of the standard model. He said, yes, it is.
No, it isn't. You don't know your own model.
Exactly. He doesn't. That's exactly correct. You're welcome, Anthony. You see, I gave this to Anthony some time ago. I don't know how many in the past 7 years. Not only BallTARDS, EvoTARDS, let's go back 13 years that I've just clobbered with this point. I just let them in, right? Come on in. I have something shiny, right? And put their fairy tale gravity in the standard model. And then just bring down the hounds, man. Just bring them in. Have my wolf pups just feast on them because they all parrot. Yes, it is part of the standard model. Yes, it is, Anthony. But I digress. Sorry.
Oh my God.
He starts laughing when Anthony tells him it's not part of the standard model. He can't believe it because he's like the intellectual god of pseudoscience, right? He's a PhD astronomer. Then you got the white knight Norm, the idiot friggin' bearded squid, coming in saying, well, Anthony, you can't question the all-knowing oracle of dipshittery, Rob. Are you saying Rob doesn't know the standard model, Anthony? How dare you?
Wow, you just said that
Wow, listen to him.
to an astronomer, whether it's science to you or not. He's the one that knows the most.
He's the one that knows the most, the astronomer. So he's sitting up, he's like the oracle. He's sitting up on his pedestal, and they're all making horses' asses out. They don't know it yet. It's all going to come crashing down in a big way. You see this? Let me just play it. Fuck it.
All right.
About two masses attracting each other.
About two masses attracting each other. No, he's not talking about that. We're talking about whether gravity is in the standard model, you fucking clown. Pay attention, right? And during your next, like I said, masses attracting each other is fucking horseshit. Define mass on the next presentation. I need to hear, somebody send that to me, by the way. Citation and demonstration. And your appeal here had nothing to do with the discussion. It focused now. Anthony said, is gravity a part of the standard model? And Rob said, yes. Anthony said, no, it isn't. And y'all laughed at him. That's where we're at.
Right. Can you read to me the bit outlined in blue for me, Rob, please? Verbatim, if you would.
The standard model of particle physics is a theory describing 3 of the 4 known fundamental forces: electromagnetic, weak, strong, and omitting gravity.
Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Whoop, there it is. Rob, the Dunning-Kruger douche. Do you know what omitting means? Oh, boy. He's finished right now. Right now, they're toast, right? But as the second grade intellectuals that they are, they're going to try to get out of it and make it 10 times worse. Watch this spectacle.
Can you go back one? Can you go hit back and then go to another one?
Can you pick back and go to another one? Okay, Rob.
But can we concede that at least by Wikipedia it excludes gravity from the standard model, contrary to your claim that it's included?
Sure. You're fucking toast.
Sure.
Fucking hell, that went easier than expected. Right, where would you like to
That's
go?
because you're not dealing with someone who believes that Wikipedia is a viable source.
Really? Someone who believes. Would this belief have anything to do with it? Let's continue.
Yeah, but what I'm saying,
Scroll up.
I agree with you, but this is
Scroll
based.
up, please.
Oh, he's going to scroll up, Rob. It's going to end the same way. With your balls in a vice.
This one?
Standard model by CERN.
Yep, let's pull that up. Let's take a look.
Can you read that?
Oh, we sure can.
Theories and discoveries of thousands of physicists since the 1930s have resulted in the remarkable insight into the fundamental structure of matter. Everything in the universe is found to be made from a few basic building blocks called fundamental particles, governed by 4 fundamental forces. Our best understanding of how these particles of 3 of the forces are related to each other is encapsulated in the standard model of particle physics.
Kablooey! Did you read that, Sunshine? Our best understanding of how these particles and 3, uno, dos, tres, 3 of the forces are related to each other, are encapsulated in the standard model of particle physics. Same thing that Wiki said. You have a PhD astronomer that doesn't know the basic fundamentals of his own fucking religion. You can't make this up. This would be like interviewing the chairman of the Texas Beef Association, and he doesn't know that ribeyes come from cows. That's the level that we're at here. Absolutely pathetic fuckwittery. How you like him now, Mr. White Knight? Idiot sewer rat. You just got your asses handed to you. Let's see if you try to get out of it.
That's what we've just discovered. We've just established that.
Gravity is part of the standard model.
So gravity is still, according to this delusional fuckwit, even though he's been shown twice, once by CERN, the other by Wiki, that gravity is not part of the standard model. He says, yes, gravity is part of the standard model. Yeah, that's his fucking rebuttal, Judge. What a clown.
What?
Gravity is...
Anthony says, what? His stupidity, Rob's stupidity, dumbfounded Anthony.
part of the standard model.
He's either got textual pareidolia or his reading comprehension skills are well below first grade. One or the other.
No. You don't seem to have understood, right? Look at what it says. Our best understanding of how these particles and 3 of the forces are related to each other. It doesn't say 4. And we know which 3 it is. We know which one it's not because we've just had it, haven't we? The one that's not is the one that...
Anthony has to explain what this paragraph says to them. They got Jedi mind tricked by them putting the 4 fundamental forces out here, right? Just like Wiki did. But then they separated out which are part of the standard model and which are not. So they get Jedi mind tricked. They still think it's, I don't know what they, don't ask me. They're dumb bucks.
You read from.
It says there are 4 fundamental forces.
Yeah, there are 4 fundamental forces, but how many are in the, you got to focus on what the topic is. You bearded walrus. The topic was, is gravity, or the subject was, is gravity a part of? That means constituent of the standard model, to be specific. Not whether the 4 fundamental forces exist. That's not the fucking question. The question is gravity a part of the standard model? Fuck!
In that
3.
certain definition.
In that certain definition. Yeah, is that a mathematics definition there, Norm? Fucking bozo.
3 of them,
3.
we know
So
how
4.
they interact with each other.
It says 4. It says 4, bro. It says 4. Yeah, but not part of the standard model, which was the subject. You idiot clown.
Don't
We
lie, it said 4.
understand.
Yeah, don't worry. It says 4. Listen to him. Look at him. No hope, folks. This guy's an ass clown. Full throttle ass clown. And he's a PhD astronomer. Don't lose sight of that fact.
It didn't say
understand
4.
how
Look,
three of them
It did say
are,
4.
are related to each other.
Okay, he's still saying it did say 4. Yeah, it did say 4. Yeah, it did say 4.
We
It
don't
didn't
understand
say
how
4.
gravity is related to the other 3. That
Shut the fuck up, SORAD engineer. You shouldn't even be in this discussion. You should be getting laughed at by primary schoolers.
that's what CERN is saying.
Shut the fuck up. We already read what they're saying. We don't need your fuckwit interpretation of it. Shut the fuck up. Get the fuck out of here. I'm about tired of listening to your dumb ass.
No. The reason why.
4
Right,
fundamental forces.
Look at him, PhD astronomer. He's lost the plot. Look at 4 fundamental forces right there. 4. Yeah, it does say 4, but that's not the issue. That's not the question whether 4 fundamental forces exist according to them. Do I have to explain it to you again? There are probably too many syllables. Anthony asked you whether gravity, whatever the fuck that is part of the standard model. You said yes. Everything that he's shown here, including your citation, go back one, go pick one, go back one, says the same fucking thing. Duh.
It's right there.
It's right there. It's right there. Yes, it is. Of course, it has nothing to do with the standard model. Fucking clown.
Where does it say 4?
Called fundamental particles governed by 4 fundamental forces.
Yeah, that's fine. That's right there. Okay. And next.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So our best understanding of how these particles and 3 of the forces are related to is encapsulated in the standard model of particle physics.
You get it now. No, he still doesn't get it. Nope. And watch, he'll go on live. He'll go live, on his next show. No one's going to challenge him. Why? He's a PhD astronomer. He can't even tie his fucking shoes by himself. He's got every single statement that he's made for 3.5 hours has been demonstrated to be fuckwit. Every single one. There's not one. Not even the simple things. And this is simple. He's a PhD astronomer and doesn't know that gravity isn't part of the standard model. I don't know, folks.
Which excludes gravity. Do you know why it is?
Gravity is not understood as a force as of yet.
Gravity isn't understood to be a force as of yet. What a dumb fuck. Where the hell did you get that from? Look at Anthony. Number 1, appeal to the future fallacy. We don't even care about that. What the fuck, dude? What the fuck? Like I said, I really don't have to do anything. I just have to play it and stop it. Right? Yeah, don't ask me, Anthony. I never heard any. It's just fucking lunacy.
I'm sorry. Let me be more specific. Gravity is not the carrier particle. The carrier particle of physics is not.
The carrier particle of physics? What? Folks, he can't. This fucking guy can't even speak intelligibly. It's fucking it's scary out here, dude. I don't know. I don't know why people put up with your dumb shit. I really don't. It's really fucking stupid. Like I said, he's below your average skank and foul BallTARD. That's plain to see now.
You can't welcome us to flat Earth when we don't belong.
So which do you think is the other force?
The carrier particle of physics has not been discovered yet. This is like an acid trip, man. This is like, go ask Alice. I think she'll know when logic and proportion has fallen sloppy dead, and the white knight is talking backwards, and the red queen's off with her head. Remember what the Rob douchebag said.
They're referring to gravity.
No, look,
They're referring to gravity, as a force, as a four of the fundamental forces, right? So gravity must be a force, correct?
expressly says our best understanding of how these particles and 3 of the forces are related to each other
So
is encapsulated.
what are the 4 fundamental forces there?
So he goes in red herring fallacies away. Who gives a shit what the 4 fundamental forces of? That wasn't the subject or the topic. It's whether gravity was part of the standard model there, Rob the douchebag. Go ask Alice, idiot.
Hang on, this is what I'm asking you. But it says of the 3 forces are related to each other is encapsulated in the standard model of particle
Weak,
physics.
strong, and electromagnetic.
Well, weak, strong, and electromagnetic. But before you said that gravity was part of it. So where did gravity go, Rob? Do you want me to rewind? Fucking clown.
And when we go to what is the standard model, it says that 3 of the 4 known fundamental forces, not gravity, right? So when you said that the fundamental forces was gravity, that's not true, is it? It's not part of the standard model. You were wrong. Can you at least admit that you got that wrong?
Can you Google grand unifying
Shut the fuck up. Go Google yourself.
theory, please, and tell me what that is?
That wasn't a rhetorical...
Fuck you. You go do it. You tell us what it is. It's just a red herring fallacy away from Rob getting his ass ripped up. But that's not going to happen.
question. It requires an answer. Can you admit and accept that when you cited that gravity was one of the 4 fundamental forces?
Ladies and gentlemen, you have a flat earther, no science background whatsoever, whipping this PhD astronomer around by his short hairs with little effort for now 3.5 hours. I didn't want that to be lost on you.
In the standard model, that is not true.
I will admit the possibility that I'm wrong.
He admits to the possibility that he's wrong. Well, that's mighty white of you. Hey, idiot douchebag. We've just shown you wrong in fucking spades. What the hell are you talking about? What the fuck? I'll admit there's a possibility that I could be wrong there, Anthony. What a clown.
And I will look it up. And
He's going to look it up. We already looked it up. Are you that out of touch with reality that you don't know what just went on here for the past 5-10 minutes? This is fucking scary.
Yes.
we're
getting there.
We're getting there. Oh, we've been there.
You'll be a flat earther by the end of the week.
No. Well, we don't want them. Just stay on that side, dude. No. Sorry. No, that gate's fucking closed. To that crayon muncher. And to him. You just stay where you are.
No.
I navigated ships in the Navy. You cannot ever convince me that the Earth is not a globe.
Yeah, that's appropriate. Thanks, Norm. The single best, at least 1B proof that the Earth is flat is celestial navigation. Thanks, Norm. Appreciate that. You can't make this stuff up, folks. I mean, I couldn't fucking script that, you dumb fuck. Hey, Norm, in the next presentation with the Rob, the he, the him, can you go into an exposition on how you can have an elevation angle with a curved adjacent, please? For everyone. Go ahead and make it the world premiere presentation for us, okay? Fucking moron.
What I will say is, I'm a human being.
I don't know. I'll let that go.
I may have misspoke.
No, that's not a misspeak. Now, a misspeak is like a mispronunciation. That train wreck of a dumpster fire is not a misspeak. That's pure fuckwit. Retard. Sunshine.
But the standard model talks about interactions of particles via carrier particles.
Via carrier particles, that we don't give a shit. The question was put to you, is gravity, it's very simple, is gravity a part of the standard model? And you said yes. Yes, it is. And Anthony said no, and you both laughed at him, right? That's what happened. Now, you got your asses handed to you. You want to try to go back and get another butt whooping?
Electromagnetic force is carried via the photon.
Yeah? You sure about that? And fucking Pocahontas was an MI6 mermaid and the mastermind behind the sinking of the Lusitania. How the fuck can a photon be the carrier for electromagnetism when photons are neither electric or magnetic? Rob? Can you explain that? I want you to explain that the next time you go live, you fucking moron. What does it carry? It's on its back. But it's neutral, right? It's neutral, but it carries the electric magnetic charge on its back or something. I don't know. It's strapped like a rucksack or something, right? Fucking moron.
Yeah, but here's the problem, though. Here's the problem. If gravity was a force, right?
Then it would have...
No, if gravity is a force, according to Rob. Remember, I told you to remember that shit. He brought up 2 times, just with the standard model right here. What are the 4 fundamental forces, Anthony? Well, that makes gravity a force. And then he chose that as his example of force without pressure. Everyone remember that. So he believes that shit.
Have a carrier particle, which is called the graviton.
Oh, God, he's going to bring up gravitons again. Delusional. A delusional wiki coma.
Yeah, gravitons don't exist. It's a woo-woo particle that's been...
Duh! Freeman Dyson already told you that.
Believed to exist because gravity needs to exist in your model.
It needs to exist in the standard model, yes.
It needs to exist in the standard model, so we'll just make some shit up. It doesn't exist in the standard model, Rob. We just saw that.
Yeah, so you need to have a woo-woo particle that you...
No, it doesn't. It's not a part of the standard model. The woo-woo particle is not going to help you.
Insist that... You know what's going to happen, right? When Einstein predicted that gravitational waves would be predicted in sometime...
When Einstein predicted that gravitational waves will be predicted, that's kind of redundant, don't you think? I want to see from you, Anthony, since you brought it up unsolicited, in the paper General Relativity in 1915, General Theory of Relativity. I want to see the prediction of gravity waves. I want to see that. I want you to pull that out. I want to take a look at it. Because that would be a hypothesis. Oh, I gave the game away, Norm. Did you notice that? Scientific prediction is a hypothesis. So now you know. You probably won't get it. Right? You're probably in the bathroom. I'll leave that one go. I forgot where I was saying. I think I need to take a break, man. Let's take a break. Let's see what's going on out there. Not on that screen. Let's take a break. Thanks, Face Reality, Fred Flintstone, and Barney Yeah. That's a good one. The Rob and Norman, PhDs in the Stone Age Brainology. That's a good one. Yeah, cool. Flat Earth Sage, thank you so much, sir, for what you do. Because of you, I can confidently say I know what science is. You're welcome, sir. It's not difficult. Somebody just needed to say it. It just had to be me, I guess. Anyone else could have just showed you. It's very easy. But I'll take it. Appreciate it. Yeah, we need to take a break, man. Let's see how long we've been going. It doesn't even seem like it. We've been going an hour and 20 minutes. Time just flies, man. Time just flies when you're ripping pretender clown fairy tale BallTARDS around by their short hairs. It just flies. We'll just take a break here in place. Talk about the culinary aspects of crappie cooking. What are the Rob's credentials? He is a PhD astronomer. Now I closed the door on the cat. He's not messing with me right now. If that door was open, he'd be all over me. And embarrassing. I don't even know his alma mater. Somebody. I think it's. I think he got his degree. I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me. From a mail order from Tuco Community College in Tobago. That's what it sounds like to me. I mean, this guy's a total moron. Or his parents were rich and they bribed the instructors and the professors and the university, because this is not he's not the only one. I've run into PhDs throughout my life that, now some are pretty fucking sharp. I'm not saying all of them, but some are just as bad as him. They're absolute fuckwits. Seriously. And you got to remember what PhDs are too. Most people don't even know that. That's how I know they're pretender clowns. So you got your BS, you got your MS, and you got your PhD. So you got MS is or BS is bullshit, more shit, and then piled higher and deeper. That was even stated back in when we were convicting ourselves back in the day. So that's an old one. Yeah. But most people don't know what they are. Hey, thanks, Gravitas. What's that? Nokia's 22. What's that? Gravitas. Nuss. Cool, man. Yeah, like I told you before, I'd rather deal. Yeah, Tuco should. Yeah, that's right. They should sue. Yeah. But I'd rather deal with like a master's. Most of the time, master's degree students know more than PhDs, because PhDs are just off in neverland. What happens is they forget what they did to earn a master's degree. See, to earn a master's degree in science, you have to demonstrate a expertise in the knowledge of that subject area at the time to get a master's degree. Okay? For a PhD in the natural science realm, I can't speak to the humanities or anything like that. You have to demonstrate an expertise with something new to your discipline, and it's hyper specific, right? So don't let PhD. If you hear somebody say, "Oh, I got a PhD," it's not like it's like a master's degree on steroids. It's completely opposite of that. They focus more on a very new, hyper-specific, minute aspect of their discipline, whatever that may be. Guys, follow that? I don't know whether it's important to know that. It's good to know that when you're dealing with idiots. You can compromise them real quick, right? Because to know that, you would have to have been at university, or why else would you study this shit? Or why else would you know that? Go ask Alice when she's 10 feet tall. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it just came to me. I can't believe I remembered the verses. Yeah, there was many in late night cruising on the back roads listening to Jefferson Airplane. Let me tell you that. Yeah, we won't go down that road. No pun intended. So we're just taking a break and play. I'll tell you what, give me a minute and 15 seconds. And none of you Weisenheimers have a stopwatch. All right? Hang in there. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. Put them out. Was that over a minute and 15 seconds? 3 minutes and 20. No, that can't be. That it could be. I got Weisenheimer's timing me and shit. All right, let's get back to it. Where are they? Oh, there they are. Walking whoa, baby.
In the future, that opens the door to scientific discovery of billions of dollars. You know, LIGO cost 1.1 billion US dollars to make, right? What
does that have to do with anything? Oh, gravity wave. I'm sorry, gravity waves. Yeah, but I'll tell you, I need to see that prediction, that scientific hypothesis in the general theory of relativity, which isn't a theory, by the way. That was published in November 1915. So go back there and go get me that. I want to see that prediction. Cited.
Einstein made the prediction that gravitational
Well, that's the claim.
waves 100 years ago might one day be discovered. That justifies.
That's not a scientific prediction, by the way. That's not a hypothesis. So I know that's just horseshit. So I don't know where you got that from. See my previous 2 statements. I need to see it.
Spending about $1.1 million.
So science is about making money.
No, science is a method, the scientific method. That's it. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Yes, it's a machine.
No, pseudoscience is about making money and indoctrinating idiots to their fairy tale religion. That's what it's about.
It's a thing to justify its own existence. All the woo-woo stuff.
All the woo-woo stuff is just to make money, just to get gullible people.
Let me just correct what I just said then. Let me just correct. When I said science then,
I know what you mean.
I'm applying what you guys say is science, right? All the
pseudoscience, correct.
Stuff that
the purpose of mainstream science.
Mainstream science, yes. No, mainstream science doesn't exist. How many times do we have to go over this? During your next presentation there, or next live stream, Rob the fuckwit, I want you to show us a picture of mainstream science, telephone number, email address, something. You keep on appealing to it, show it to us. We want to see it, okay?
Real science doesn't need all that spending on it, because to establish the cause of an effect, Rob manipulates the presumed cause, establishes that it did cause the effect.
Real scientists need cash too. Not doing that stuff for free. So I don't know where this is going. What's the point?
Didn't need trillions of dollars spending on that, did it?
So real science can be done by the average person.
What? Here we got Dora, the fuckwit explorer over here. What is the fourth force? Well, according to your master over here that knighted you, Dora, the fuckwit explorer, that fourth force is gravity. Yeah, gravity. That's what it is. You got it? Move on.
Yes, as long as you adhere to scientific method. I'm
And
the average guy.
you do not believe that.
Here we go with Anthony's beliefs. That's what he's interested in. PhD astronomer, interested in the beliefs of a complete stranger. That's the level that we're at.
Science.
Oh, we've been here the whole time. This is 3.5 hours.
That we consider science can be done by the average person.
No, because
Whatever, you douchebag.
almost all of the science that you guys think is science is unverifiable. It's not capable of it's not reasonable to think that a bloke in his kitchen can use $1 million telescopes or $1 million woo-woo detectors. I mean, look at what's his name? PhD Tony. Like I said, he walks around his field with his gravimeter. He hasn't got a clue what he's measuring, but he still thinks it's gravity, even though gravity's not been a force since 1915. Incorrect.
No, not according to him. Gravity's a force. We already went over that. Remember I identified that, emphasized it.
Science today. So what is PhD Tony measuring when he walks around his field with his gravimeter? You tell me.
Dandelion stems.
Measuring the acceleration due to the presence of mass.
What? He's measuring acceleration due to the presence of something that you can't define? And by the way, that was debunked 107 years ago. You fucking clown. What the hell are you talking about?
Whether you want to call that force, whether or not you want to call that geodesics, whether you want to call that unicorn.
Geodesics. Define geodesics on your next stream.
Farts. I don't care.
Unicorn farts. Here we go back to unicorn farts again. No, that would be a law of identity violation. You Dunning-Kruger muppet.
What he's measuring is the acceleration of something due to mass.
Acceleration of something due to mass. That's coherent. Can you define mass? And then explain how he's searching for something that was debunked 107 years ago, please. Look at him all proud. What a moron.
So a gravimeter is an instrument used to measure gravitational acceleration, right?
That doesn't exist. Hello, McFly. There is no acceleration, gravitational acceleration in general relativity.
Gravitational acceleration requires...
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Listen up.
According to the general theory of relativity, gravity is not a force. There are no gravitational fields. Gravity is kind of an illusion.
What the hell did you just say?
Gravity is kind of an illusion. In general relativity, there is no mystery. All objects appear to fall the same way because, well, they're not accelerating.
They're not accelerating. There is no gravitational acceleration in the general theory of relativity, you numpty dipshit, Rob. So what's Tony doing out there? There are no geodesics out there, you fucking clown. You have no idea with what you speak. None. Zero. Bonehead.
Is a force, otherwise it's not gravitational acceleration.
I didn't say that. You're putting words in my mouth.
Gravitational acceleration is a force. It says it right here. Let me read it to you. A gravimeter is an instrument used to measure gravitational acceleration that doesn't exist. Every mass they can't define has an associated gravitational potential. Here's the key phrase. The gradient of this potential is a fucking force. It says it right there. Can't you read? Oh, we already know you can't from the last fiasco with the standard model.
No, I'm asking you, what does PhD Tony think he's doing when he's walking?
You can't ask him what PhD Tony thinks. PhD Tony is at the fucking lunch. Right? Remember, PhD Tony is not overburdened with a technical understanding of physical reality. You think I'm joking?
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this. And totally redeem yourself!
So this is what I lack.
Brains?
So I believe I stated over and over again is, I'm a mathematician who has become a geophysicist. I am not overburdened with a technical understanding of a great deal of physical reality, as it might.
Are you serious? Are you?
Told you.
Walking around this
I'm
field
not
with a gravimeter.
PhD Tony.
I know, but he thinks he's doing science, right? And we're
yes.
trying to talk.
Yes,
Yeah.
he is making measurements with his.
He's making measurements with his. That's not science. Natural science. Natural science only deals with cause and effect relationships. That's quantitative, not qualitative. I'm sorry, qualitative. Got them mixed up, folks. It's been a long night. Only deals with qualitative, not quantitative. You will never see in a fucking equation in a hypothesis. It's a category error. You're a dipshit.
With this device.
He is making
measuring the
measurements.
gravitational acceleration at various points.
Gravitational acceleration doesn't exist. We already went over that with Veritasium. Doesn't exist in general relativity. It was debunked 107 years ago. You haven't been keeping up with your continuing education credits for about 107 fucking years.
He is making measurements with his device. I agree. The question is, what is he measuring? But we know that by definition,
dandelion stems.
A gravimeter is an instrument used to measure gravitational acceleration. Well, we know for an acceleration there needs to be a force. It's Newton's first law of motion, right?
No, we don't.
No, we don't. It says it right here. This gradient of the gradient of this potential is a force. Unbelievable.
So
an acceleration can happen relativistically. If we want to stick with a
relativistically, we're not talking about relativity. If we're talking about relativity, then there is no gravitational acceleration. We just heard it. This is just convoluted gibberish, man. He's mixing up concepts. He has no idea with what he speaks. He's just a clown, ass, one each.
Relativistic framework, then no, a force is not necessary for acceleration to happen.
What we're trying to establish.
There is no acceleration in general relativity. You got to play that again? You'd figured you'd know that. No, you wouldn't figure that. No, you wouldn't, because you don't know what the standard model is. We're not going to presume what you know or don't know as a PhD astronomer. You're a retard.
Establish at this point is whether PhD Tony is doing science when he walks around his field with his gravimeter. And when we walk around the field with the gravimeter, he's measuring something that he believes is gravitational acceleration. Newton's first law of motion states that for there to be an acceleration...
Newton's laws are all debunked too. So this is a double whammy of nonsensical bullshittery.
A force needs to be there.
I don't know why you keep going back from Newton to Einstein.
From Newton, we're not. You are. Well, maybe. I don't think he is. We don't know. But no, you are. Because you don't know which is governing which. That's clear.
When you say you can't go to, if you're going to say that that a force doesn't exist, then Newton's laws are nonsensical.
Correct. Yeah, they were debunked 107 years ago. We already went over that a number of times in the previous part 1, part 2, and part 3. Check back there. We went over it a few times.
I agree. But PhD Tony thinks he's doing science. So how do we get from what PhD Tony thinks he's doing, science, to what he's actually doing?
But what I want to know is, you believe that PhD Tony is...
Do you believe another query into a complete stranger's beliefs from a PhD astronomer?
Attempting to swindle people for money?
Yeah.
What the hell does this have to do with anything? It's non sequitur. Your queries are moronic.
He's a lying. He's a lying, deceiving piece of shit.
He's okay. Why?
Well, he's a dumb fuck. Why? What the fuck? Why? What do you mean? Why? What the fuck question is that? Well, I guess Anthony went ahead and said, why are we even here? Goodness gracious, I could be cleaning the bathroom.
Because
what is he getting from this?
Because he tells people that he's a scientist. There was a girl he was having a conversation with that was a cashier in a supermarket, I think it was, or a shop. And she said, what's the difference between what you're doing and what I'm doing? And he said, well, what do you do? He said, well, I'm a cashier in a shop or a supermarket, whatever it was. And he said, yeah, that's not science. And she said, but why not? And he said, because like science is involved with doing science. And she said, but
science is involved with doing science. Isn't that a bit redundant? Science isn't involved with anything. Science is just the method.
Why is it that when you're basically walking around your field with your gravimeter, how's that any different to me using my till? I nearly fell off my chair in glee, because that is a totally valid question to ask. But he distinguishes what he does with walking around his field with a gravimeter from what she does with her till at the end of a supermarket kiosk. He thinks that they're somehow different, and she was asking why, and he didn't give her a good explanation. But I can tell you why they're the same, because he's got no idea what he's measuring, but he believes he's measuring something, and she's got no idea how that till works. But she's
yeah, but she knows what she's measuring. Well, she ain't measuring; she's gathering cash. So that's a bit of a non sequitur.
Calculating up the bill for the customer, right? They're
when you say there's no difference between them, are you talking about a moral difference?
What the fuck? A moral? What? What the? What? You need like a fucking abacus. That's not even going to help you here as to what's going to come out of this numpty's mouth next. You just never know. Could be the tensile strength of the I-beams in the Boeing manufacturing plant up here in Washington State. Who knows?
Because in actuality, yes, one person is walking in a field, the other person is stationary at a till.
Well, at least you know the difference between that. We were questioning whether you knew the difference.
Still taking money. There is a difference between the two.
That's what we need a PhD astronomer for, to let everyone know that there's a difference between walking in a fucking field and being behind a till. Too funny, man. You are an ass clown.
Using a device to do something, right? And that's all that they're doing. But PhD Tony thinks he's doing science. Well, when that girl asked him, what is the qualifying thing that
why
makes
does that bother you? Why does you?
Why does that bother us? Well, the other thing bothered us more, the one we just heard, where he's not overburdened with a technical understanding of physical reality.
Bothers you so much that he is to the point that you are literally calling him a lying piece of shit.
Yeah, that's a whole other level. I don't know that. He's a dumb fuck. I don't know about the other ones.
He is a lying piece of shit because he knows he's not doing science, but he tells people he is. He knows that gravity is not a force, right? But he's...
Well, you could probably say that if you talk to... I never talked to that crayon muncher, so I don't know whether he... I don't really care.
Walking around a field, measuring the acceleration. He knows, and I'm not going to put words in his mouth. He can rebut your claims on this however he likes.
He couldn't rebut a soup sandwich. You remember what he said? Let me remind you, he's not overburdened with a technical understanding of physical reality.
But my point,
and neither are you, by the way. And we know, Norm, we know he's not.
Of view is you have made a very personal attack against PhD Tony.
Oh God, here we go with the Nancy appeals.
That I do not believe is justified in any way whatsoever, because
we don't care what you believe or don't believe. We can give a shit less. You've shown that you're an ass clown of megalithic proportions here. I mean, second graders can whip you around by your short hairs with little effort.
Not shown me any evidence.
Just with basic reasoning. I'll bet you they have a higher science acumen than you also. I'll guarantee that.
To illustrate that he is profiting, that he is knowingly lying to someone and taking their money. And I'm sorry, but that's...
agree? Do you agree or disagree that he knows that gravity is not?
Why are you asking agree and disagree? I think he Jedi mind tricked you into asking agree, disagree questions. It's getting you off your game.
Force, is that a fact or is that not a fact?
I have no idea.
Right,
what Tony, if he's going to call it a force or not. I honestly
he absolutely knows that gravity is not a force. I've argued with him about general relativity.
But you know what mainstream science says. A collective, right? But you don't know what Tony... You see, there's a problem there. How do you know what mainstream science says? Why?
For hours. He knows that gravity is not a force. So
All
if you don't know that, that's fine. Let's pick on conspiracy cats. Conspiracy cats, by being in this topic, knows that gravity is not a force. We've had it out with him loads of times. He knows it's not.
Well, that's in direct contradiction to him. Remember, he said gravity was a force a number of times. Remember, I told you to make a mental note of that? At least twice. Explicitly. So why didn't you object there, clown show? Because you don't know what you've said 2, 10, 15, 30 seconds before this, let alone 5, 10, 15 minutes, an hour. Those are by the wayside. Clown.
Seriously, Cat's a lying piece of shit?
Yeah.
Here we go into this. My word.
Because he's teaching children stuff that he knows is not true because he gets paid to do it and it's in the national curriculum. Regardless of his reasoning, he's teaching them false statements of facts, knowing that it's not true. That is a lie.
Well, Sleeping Warrior, your definition right here says a gravimeter is an instrument used to measure gravitational acceleration.
Acceleration. Yeah, we already been over this, Norm. What's your point?
Yeah.
Which
so how
is
do we get
one part of the force mass?
Which is one part of the force mass equation. Hey, Norm, you fucking dipshit. Can you read? I'll read it for you. Every mass has an associated gravitational potential. The gradient of this potential is a fucking force. You one part idiot, one part moron.
Equation.
Yeah.
So
you know that equation?
PhD Tony is measuring gravitational acceleration. He's not measuring force.
You can't make this shit up, folks. I'm telling you, this fucking guy. I don't know, man. I don't even think that I would state that. If I was in a shroom-induced coma, I don't think I'd even come up with some stupid shit like that over in reading this. I don't think I could. I don't think so. Delusional wiki. He's in a delusional wiki coma.
Is he? By
and he's got textual pareidolia or something. He can't fucking read.
By your own citation right
Yeah, the own citation. Yeah, you dumb fuck.
here.
So Newton's second law of motion states that.
Why would you even go to Newton? Just read it.
To accelerate, you calculate it with F equals ma. So the gravitational acceleration is the rate that the. Hang on. The gravitational acceleration.
No, hang on. If PhD Tony says that gravity is not a force, then it has to follow that Newton's laws are nonsensical.
That's correct. We already showed that. Yeah, they've been debunked for about 107 years, along with the universal law of gravitation, which isn't his, by the way.
So what is he doing when he's doing science in his field?
He's measuring dandelion stems. Tony, I already told you.
Gravitational acceleration due to relativistic effects.
Due to relativistic effects. There is no acceleration, gravitational acceleration in the general theory of relativity. We already went over that. Veritasium. He already told you that. What the fuck, man?
Right, the effects in relativity are they're not physical, they are observational. That's demonstrated.
They're not physical, they're observational. In general relativity, you mean space-time bending. Well, space is a concept, length, width, and height. And time is also a concept. They're not physical. You can't bend, dilate, or warp non-physical concepts. The 3 seconds after the general theory of relativity was published, it was debunked by incoherent third graders as a reification fallacy belly laugher.
Demonstrated by the Eddington observation of 1919.
Eddington observation, what did that show?
And by LIGO of 2015, they both demonstrated that the effects of gravitational curvature of space-time.
No, they didn't have anything to do with gravity.
Is optical, right? It's
Remember,
not actual.
We still have yet to define gravity in here. These clowns think it's Newton. And we already demonstrated it's not Newton. You know what I mean. Reverend John Michel, CV Boys, Cavendish. But these guys still, we don't even know. I don't think they even know where they're at, to be perfectly honest with you.
Acceleration.
No, it's real.
No, it's not actual.
Oh, it's real. Yeah, what's real?
Yes, it's real.
Yes, what? What's real? And show that it's real.
Right, so LIGO showed that photons were being changed their path over the two different angles as they went down.
What does that have to do with anything?
So when the sun gets eclipsed by the moon.
Oh, wait a darn second right there, sir. Do you have scientific evidence for that claim? For your fairy tale premise? Because if you don't, that's just a baseless assertion fallacy, and everything following out of that incoherent blowhole of yours is tied to that first statement. Let's see.
And the star's position.
And right, no, star's position. Fuck off.
Change. You're telling
the star's positions change. Why does that happen?
Me that that's actually what happens?
Are you telling me that's what actually happens? Like I said, it's just incoherent gibberish. He doesn't have a query. What the fuck did you just say? Start off with your fallacy first. Making the whole comment void, by the way. It should be void. We should be protected from stupid shit like this.
No, that's
stars actually move?
No,
or is it that the light that we see bends?
Stars actually move? A little bit on the way here. Yet you've claimed that stars move. Both of you idiots. We're going to hopefully we'll get to that. You claim stars move. Completely annihilating your fairy tale religion, but you're totally unaware of that. Remember that. Remember he took offense right here with saying stars move. Okay, folks? Remember that one. So you got two things to remember. It's not a lot. Gravity's a force, and stars move. You think you guys can handle that out there? You need to get the Adderall drip out.
You're making my argument now against me as though it's your argument. I'm saying that the stars didn't actually move in Eddington observation.
But we see them move.
Oh, you see them move, do you? That's pretty fucking interesting. I'll continue. Oh, we'll wait till we get to that part.
They appear to move because the fabric of space-time moves, apparently.
What? No. They appear to move because the Earth's fucking rotating, according to fairy tale religion. Nothing to do with idiot space-time.
They didn't actually move. They didn't actually move.
They
so
appear
the light
to move because light bends.
They appear to move because light bends. What a dumbass, man. Really? Because light bends. I love your meticulous attention to excruciating detail. OCD-like. Can you provide an example of that light bending? I mean, one that's analogous? Not the aquarium with a coherent light source with glass and sugar water. Can you make an analogy where light bends through a fairy tale vacuum for us, please? Your next live stream. We want to see that. Okay? Numpty dipshit.
Yeah, but they weren't actually moving. That's the point. They didn't change their position, but it appeared that way because of the lensing effect of gravitational lensing.
It's like refraction. The light bends.
Light refraction. We want you to define refraction on your next stream, too. You don't know what fucking refraction is. No BallTARD in 7 years has given the correct definition for refraction. Not that I've heard. They don't know what it is. Now they begack it. Refraction, that's all they do with anything else. Right? We've had numerous examples here today. We're going to get to another one here in a little bit.
Not mass attracting mass. So what's PhD Tony measuring?
No, I didn't say that. I did not say that.
You told me what it was.
Mass does attract mass.
Yeah, mass attract mass. Yeah, and Nana Nicole and fucking Married for Love and Pol Pot was her florist. Can you define? I already asked you to define mass, didn't I? I think I already did. Next stream with citation and demonstration.
In relativity.
No, it doesn't.
What? What? Mass attracts mass in relativity now. Can you show that? I want you to show that. Pull that paper out. November 15th, 1915. The general theory of relativity where mass attracts mass. We want to see that. Okay? An idiot.
Yes, it does.
Yaha!
Yes, it does.
Let's go back to
Yaha! A double yaha.
I didn't call it a force. Don't tell me.
No.
Yes, you did call gravity a force.
Called it a force. I said
No,
that
you said
mass
that
attracts mass.
mass in
You did call gravity a force. Remember, I told everyone to remember that? Now he's denying it. This fucking clown. Remember, I told you. Yep, you explicitly said gravity was a force. Twice. Now it's not. Double speaking dipshit.
That's it.
You said that mass only
Yeah, that's it. You're a clown.
attracts mass in relativity in a gravitational field.
There are no gravitational fields in general relativity. Hold on. Guess we got to go back to this again. Listen up.
According to the general theory of relativity, gravity is not a force. There are no gravitational fields.
You hear that? There are no gravitational fields. Yeah.
In space-time.
In space-time. That's the length of his query and the depth. What a fucking bozo.
In a gravitational field in space-time. It's the only time that mass attracts mass.
No, it doesn't exist. There are no gravitational fields. He just told you. In the general theory of relativity. You want to hear it again?
According to the general theory of relativity, gravity is not a force. There are no gravitational fields.
See, here at that time. Idiot, dumb fucks. You don't know your own fucking... You don't know it, Anthony, and he doesn't know. I think you Jedi mind tricked him. You don't know the fundamentals of your fairy tale religion. Of course, that was shown in spades with that standard model train wreck of a dumpster fire. Fucking $6 million man is blushing over that shit. That was a crash and burn that... Oh, boy. Can't wait to talk about that next week.
When a mass creates
There's an even better statement coming, though. Hopefully you'll recognize it when you hear it.
Mass creates a gravitational potential.
Yeah.
Mass creates a gravitational potential. Yeah, he's reading his definition right here. You haven't got to the force yet.
Yeah, so therefore there's a gravitational field. The problem is we're not in a gravitational field.
Why aren't we in a gravitational field?
Because gravitational fields don't exist in general relativity.
It's not a force. There are no gravitational fields.
Remember that?
Because there's no evidence that shows that we are.
Sure there is.
Really? Show.
Mercury's orbit. There's
Mercury's orbit is his fucking proof of a gravitational field. Yeah, yep. We could just, well, anything is proof. I could just, Ducal Slopogertz. What's the proof of Ducal Slopogertz? Well, first you got to know what Ducal Slopogertz is. We'll get beyond that. What's the proof of that? Well, the orbit of Mercury. What else?
Mercury's orbit. There's, well, actually, muons are relative.
He's going to muons for some strange reason. Who the fuck knows?
Oh, well, actually, muons show relativistic.
He doesn't even know his own fucking horseshit.
Time dilation.
Oh, yeah, they show time dilation. I want you to show a non-physical concept dilating.
So Mercury's orbit is not demonstrating a gravitational field. What we're seeing is a light in the sky appearing to wander.
Look at him, he's dumbfounded. What? What you got to say to that? Back to your gravitational fields that exist in general relativity that don't exist in general relativity?
We can describe and
we can describe. Who can describe?
Perfectly describe. Sorry, I got caught up in the
perfectly describe. You got caught up where? In the cobwebs, in between the void. In there. Fucking moron.
In the chat.
What the fuck are you doing in chat? Jeez, this is just pathetic.
If my error bars are fairly large,
the only error bars are between your ears. That's the errors bars. That's the only error bars we got. What the fuck, man?
Newtonian physics to perfectly
Newtonian physics has been debunked. We already went over that.
Predict where
It doesn't predict shit. You don't know what a scientific prediction is. Isaac Newton, never, ever conducted or constructed a scientific theory in his life. That's the only place where you're going to get predictions, scientific predictions from there, Sally.
Mercury is going to be in the sky at any time that you like.
Who the fuck cares about what lights in the sky are doing? What's this have to do with gravitational fields?
No, we can't. Newton's laws.
Yes, I can. I do
Yaha! Yes, he can.
it every single day.
He does it every single day. Look at him. The doofus fuckwit. What do you do every day? Google yourself?
I do it every single day.
Yeah, I think you do.
And Newton could do it 500 years ago with his.
If you want to believe that, you can believe that. But the reality is, Newton's
Then
laws
what did Kepler show?
What the fuck you mean? What did Kepler show? Why are we on Kepler? What does this have to do with gravitational fields? Why the fuck you bringing up Kepler?
Kepler show.
What? Why are you asking him? If you have a claim concerning Kepler, then come on, give it to us. Don't ask him. It's your fucking claim.
Why were his observations consistent with a heliocentric system with eclipsing orbits?
What the fuck does this have to do with gravitational fields, pray tell? What does Kepler have to do with this shit? Who knows? It's just a red herring fallacy bonanza. Get your abacus out.
Rather than not being consistent with anything else.
Not being consistent. Well, show. Well, since I don't usually chase idiot red herring fallacies, but fuck it. Go ahead, show. Support your claim. He won't.
Do you know what the Antikythera mechanism is?
Don't go to the Antikythera and have him support his fucking claim. Jeez.
No.
Right, it's a bronze clock that was made in a time time period that is unknown, right?
Yeah,
but it was only discovered. It was only discovered in 1901, I think it was, in the Mediterranean Sea. So they know when it was, because it was disintegrated in salt water. Bronze will indefinitely last because it's made of bronze, and if you look after it, it won't tarnish in air. It'll last indefinitely. That's why we make bronze statues. But in real terms, if you leave it,
I don't know about that. I'll let that go.
In salt water, it'll perish over time. They found the Antikythera mechanism in 1901. Okay.
Look, they got me going after these idiot red herring fallacies. They Jedi mind tricked me. It's getting late. I'm starting to wind down, man, and we've been going for a little over 2 hours. I may want to stop proceedings here because it does get it's getting a little long in the tooth, and I have to admit to you guys, I'm getting a little tired listening to this horse shit. Let's see what's going on out there. We're not in a hurry anyway. We'll get to the end of it eventually. Not too much going on. What's going on out here, guys? We're gonna wrap things up. Sorry to disappoint you. We've been going on for some time here. I don't want to take it too long. Any objections? I'll bet I'll get some. I'm just, there's only so much horseshit you can listen to, man. It's aggravating. And you guys are out there just screwing around out in chat, not paying any attention on your own subject. Oh, God. Oh, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Let me mark down the time here, folks. So we got 3:38:07. We'll start back up here on the next one. I didn't mark the last one down, which pissed me off. I had to go chasing it down. 38:07. What are the two things you guys had to remember? I think we already accomplished one, that gravity was a force. He said it twice. What was the other one? Stars move. I'm going to write that down so I don't forget it for the next time. But he said, Rob, the douchebag, said that stars were moving. You can't make this stuff up, folks. I'm telling you. There's no continuity between argument to argument. There's no continuity between whatever they call thoughts and the next thought. For the spinning space monkey BallTARDS. None. There's no continuity whatsoever. They'll just say whatever just comes to mind. Contradict each other with every. Well, you guys know the deal. You've been around. Most been around here for a while. Let's go back to live stream. Keep exterminating the heliocentric bugs. Yeah. You guys are welcome. Listen, for next week, there won't be a live show Tuesday. I got something special for you on Tuesday, though. It just won't be a live show. It's Thanksgiving week. I have some family coming in. So we probably won't get to Rob again next week. I don't think. For right now, tentatively, no. With Rob and the other, the bearded walrus down there. And no BALLBUSTERS next Saturday. It's a holiday week, man. You guys know the deal. If you're Americans, you guys know the deal. If you're not like Arwen in the Netherlands, you don't have a clue. But us Americans, we're very familiar with, Thanksgiving holiday is right up there with Christmas. To give a little clarity on where I'm coming from. So, but I wanted to let everyone know that so you're not surprised that we're not live. But there's a little surprise for you on Tuesday. I'm not going to leave you high and dry. So hang in there, guys. Have a great holiday. Even if you don't have a holiday, have a great one. Be careful out there. And remember, I'll be back.